Welcome to Conversations in the Closet with your host, motivational speaker, fitness expert, and fashion guru, Theresa Roemer.
Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I am Theresa Roemer here with you, and my special guest, always as always, my co-host, Michael Pearce.
Hello, love.
How are you?
I'm good. This closet's drafty. Do you have the air conditioning on or something?
It is that time of year.
It is.
I was actually wondering if I should put a Christmas tree in here.
I thought maybe you'd have one for maybe in the third story, or maybe a 3-story tree would be nice, because something understated like this closet. You can hang moobs on it. It'd be really pretty, like Manolo blocks and moobs all over the tree.
I was just going to get a Christmas tree and hang all kinds of little purses and shoes all over it.
Sounds fabulous.
Like my husband would say, you need more, really.
You do. Everybody needs a shoe tree. You are now setting a trend. Shoe trees. It's a thing. Trademark it. Hashtag that. Theresa Roemer. Shoe tree.
So, this is a great week. We all know it's Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Feed me.
Oh, I would love to see your plate. It probably has three little tiny strands of turkey, and that's probably all.
I can't have Thanksgiving. I had a Tic Tac last week, so I'm full through the end of the year. Like, I'll be sucking the secrets. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah. And for our listeners, this is not a lie. If you know Michael Pearce, he for his meals he sucks on lollipops. That's it.
True. I live off of the tears of children and clowns. That's what I live off of.
So with it being Thanksgiving, that's an amazing topic, because I'd really like to dive headfirst into your brain and just really see what
it's gonna be lonely in there, but okay, as long as you've got a scope to get you back out. It might be a bit cavernous if you're diving into my little old brain, but let's go back to things we're thankful for. I would love a free space that I rent out up there.
I just really would like to know what you are so thankful for.
I'm actually really glad that that's today's topic, because we've both talked. There's been a lot of things going on this week, and we both have so many things to be thankful for. And the holidays are a really tough time for a lot of people, and people feel alone and isolated, and suicide rates are up, and not everybody has a great family life. But I've always learned, even in my darkest hours, even when I was really scared, or I was like living hand to mouth and not even be able to afford car payments, there are always things to be thankful for. And I've always found that by focusing on those things that you're thankful for, it makes even the darkest hours a little bit nicer. And this year, I have a lot of wonderful things to be thankful for. I'm thankful for my friendships with people like you. I'm thankful that schmucks will listened to me on this podcast. I'm thankful that I have an amazing family. I have my health. I'm thankful that we live in a country so far today that is still free, where people can wear ugly pantsuits and they can shop for designer shoes. And I'm thankful that I'm in this glorious closet and I'm shopping around right now, getting all my Christmas shopping done. How about you, my love? What are the things that you're thankful for? What are you going to be saying your blessings this year for?
Well, I feel like I'm probably one of the most blessed people on the face of this earth. I do feel that way. One, in part because I work my butt off, and I try to get everything I want in life by working my butt off. But, I've just had a wonderful life, and I'm thankful for this wonderful life. And whether, like you said, whether it meant wearing hand-me-downs and feeling loved by my family, or whether it's, living in this gigantic house with a 3,000 square foot closet, it just doesn't matter. You just need to be thankful for everything you have in life. And, this past week I had a really, really horrible scare in my life. And
I was wondering if you could tell me about it. Tell people, because this has been you guys don't know, it's been a very scary week for Theresa Roemer. We've all been on pins and needles. Tell everybody what's been going on. How are things?
Yeah, so, Saturday I was out in my yard hanging Christmas lights, just minding my own business, doing what Theresa Roemer does, even though she should hire this out. I try to do it myself. And my husband came home just sweating profusely, like I've never seen him sweat before. And he said, he thought he was going to vomit, and, he had chest pains. And, I took his blood pressure, and his pulse rate was like over 200, and I immediately got him in the car and got him to the nearby corner ER place, and his heart rate was at 250, and they thought he was having a heart attack. And literally there was like 10 people on top of him doing everything they could possibly do, and they called for an ambulance, and it was scary. They got him to the hospital, and they pretty much still thought he was having a heart attack. And at that very moment, you're scared. I mean,
Yeah.
You're just never ready for any of that, and I seriously thought I was losing my husband on Saturday. I was horrified. I didn't know if he was going to make it. I mean, it was scary,
It was horrifying. Matt was actually in a board meeting and got yanked out of the board meeting. I don't know where it was, a text that you sent or what, but there's a photo of Lamar in the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Matt left a board meeting and left, and then called, because I hadn't seen it yet, and said, "You need to call Theresa right now." And I remember my stomach feeling like it had dropped out, like, holy crud. I can only imagine what was going through your mind seeing him like that, because he's a big, empowering guy, and to see him like laid out on that stretcher going into an ambulance had to be terrifying for you.
It was horrifying. And, they immediately admitted him to the hospital and started to try to reduce that heart rate, so I guess they call it AFib. Because your heart's just out of rhythm and it's just going all over the place. And the thing that's the scariest thing with AFib is that there's a chance of a stroke, because when your heart is beating like that, it can form a clot because it's not opening and closing like it's supposed to. And then the clot goes to your brain or your lungs or wherever, and you have a stroke, and it's scary. So for the past 5 days, I have literally been at the hospital 12 to 16 hours every day, and I just felt like my life had stopped, literally.
You have been living at the hospital. Every day we have called and texted. You have been at that hospital for 5 days now. And so you're home today. Is that
right? So we were finally able to put the paddles on him this morning and shock him, and got his heart back into rhythm. And so he's on blood thinners and all kinds of meds to keep his heart rate in check. And then hopefully in a month, they're going to do an ablation where they literally burn the tissues away that's causing the heart to continually go into AFib. But anyways, it's just scary, scary, scary week. And it really makes you take a step back in life and realize really what you have to be thankful for in life. And I know tonight, when I lay my head on my pillow, and as well as tomorrow, just to be able to thank God for not taking my husband yet, and allowing us to still continue to have a wonderful life together. But
you said something to me on the phone the other day that I thought was really telling. You said that going through this scare of these 5 days, which have been some of the hardest 5 days for you, actually are a blessing, because if you hadn't had this, he could have had a stroke and not known it. But the fact that you caught this and went through that, you avoided potentially having Lamar having a life-threatening stroke.
Right. And so, through the test, they revealed that he did not have a heart attack. Thank God. But it was just that AFib, and it was over 250. So it was like he was running this gigantic marathon. So no wonder he was having tightness in his chest and, sweating profusely and whatnot. But, it's just, it's really sad that sometimes it takes moments like this to make you really step back and realize what you really need to be thankful in life for.
Amen. How is Lamar's spirits? Is he back to being ornery and cantankerous and cracking bad jokes?
Oh, yes. I mean, the minute we walked in the house, he said, "Okay, let's go to the bedroom." And I said, "You're right. We are going to the bedroom, and you are getting into bed, and you're going to take a nap." And he's like, "Oh, it's been over a week. I mean, like, I need you now."
He's like, "My heart rate is slowing. It's fine." God love that man. He has a libido. I can't even keep up. I have no idea how you deal with that man.
I mean, like, he has got the libido of a 20-year-old. I swear to God.
Yes,
I mean, like
two of them.
So that's every day when I would see him in the hospital. The great thing is as bad off as he was, he always has this humongous, just amazing sense of humor. So every day in the hospital, he'd be like, "The bed's pretty big. I think I could fit you in here." I'm like, "You have AFib. I'm not going to make it worse."
That's how he's going to go out. That's how he wants to go out.
Well, and that's what he always says. He says, "I need to have a sex as much as I can because you just never know when it's going to be over. And that's how I want to go out," he says.
Well, this was a really scary time. You're right. Because it kind of puts in a check when you're going in. And we always say that, your family, your health are the most important things. But when you think something like this out of the blue, you're decorating your house. And the next thing you know, I'm off to the emergency room thinking you might lose your husband. That's got to put so many things in perspective.
Well, and it's really funny because, I always like to look my best.
Yes.
And here I am in the emergency room, and I've got mud on my shoes, and I have nasty clothes on because I'm outside decorating my house. And of course, I run into people that know me and that are they're fans and they're followers, and they're like, "Oh, Theresa,
happy New Year!" I always figured this is not Theresa. I'm the evil cousin. You haven't heard about it. I'm Tyranda or something, and pull a mustache. I'm the evil twin, so they don't think it's you.
So that's rather embarrassing too, is to be in a hospital.
You have never looked bad. I've seen you many of these times where you say, "I'm at my worst. I barely have my makeup," and I'm like, "Please, you're at my worst is still 10 times better than me." No.
No, they were looking at me like, "What happened to you, girlfriend?"
I once went in college after a night of drinking out with friends. One of my friends was in a horrible car accident. I went to go visit him in the emergency room, and I was so drunk and so just nasty looking, they tried to admit me. They thought I'd been in the accident. I was like, all right, so that's bad. You were fine, but back to Lamar.
Yeah, so I'm extremely thankful to God right now that He's allowing my husband to continue his journey in life on this earth with me for another few years or 10 years or however many more we have left. And it's just it really does. Sometimes it takes something really scary and drastic in your life for you to really stop and go, wow, this is really what's most important,
And it's funny you say prayers because I don't know if they work or not. I like to say they do, but as soon as that happened, I immediately got down on my knees and started praying for Lamar. And I think I prayed every day, 2 or 3 times a day, waiting for that news. And so when you text today and say, he's coming home, that was like the best Thanksgiving present for everybody, because we were all sitting there praying that. And all the cool kids I know were texting, asking too, what's the update?
Right. And I'm so thankful for my friends too. A lot of people don't know we have this little group called the Cool Kids Cartel, and it's a group of friends that we really know that we've got each other's back, and we, we're there for. I remember the first thing you said to me is, "Do I need to come?"
I was like, I will go right now. It didn't matter. Like you need to. Yeah, you're one of those people. I will drop anything. I don't care. I will show it with brown stuff on me and be at the hospital.
Right. So, I mean, you were one of those people that was like, I'll be there right now. What can I do? And my social media team in California, the head of the team, he was like, I'm on the next plane out of here. I'll be right there. So and those are the people. You are the friend, my social media team. I mean, like, those are the people that you're extremely thankful for too, because that they've got your back and they're going to be there no matter what, just like you are for them, and so
how grateful too, because you had just come back from California the night before, because you were out promoting out in California. So what happens if you would have stayed there? Heaven help you. Like that.
I know. I know. And that's what I said to my husband. Thank you for waiting till I got back. Yes. He's like, I don't think I had any choice in the matter.
I planned it.
But that did scare me. You're bringing that up. It did scare me. I had just been in California that week, with my team working and promoting and getting ready for this amazing launch of my fitness wear line. And so I thought, oh my God, can you imagine if that would have happened while I was still in California? How scary, So I'm really grateful that it didn't happen until I was back here. But So yeah, so to me, that's what Thanksgiving's all about. To me, is it's a time of reflection, and I know a lot of people look at Thanksgiving as just a time to gather together and just be together. But a lot of times I don't care if I spend Thanksgiving all by myself. To me, Thanksgiving is just me reflecting back this past year or on my life and just being thankful for every single thing that comes my way. Whether I work for it or whether God just bestows me with amazing stuff.
I know your listeners are dying to know, how does Theresa Roemer, this large in life person, what are you going to be doing for the holidays? How are you celebrating this year? Now that we know Lamar is going to be home, what are the plans for the Roemer household?
Well, also my followers and fans and listeners did not realize that I've been wearing this beautiful, amazing walking boot for the last few weeks.
Yes, it is. Oh, it's just nothing like a big old honking, like it looks like a Birkenstock. It's so ugly, but
but
you make it look pretty. You had a
but
Gucci suit, that pantsuit, thought it was so pretty. Like you had a low plunging neckline, which I've always said, if you have a bad hair day, wear something low cut. No one will remember what your face looks like. And so you look stunning out at the premiere. I saw it. I was like, no one even noticed that you had a boot on.
and honest to God, nobody noticed. Honest to God, people were standing there that nobody even saw it. And
I'm
then
sure.
I had to bring their attention to it, like, oh, it is there.
Why is
But
that?
yeah, you're right. I was at the premiere and I had this deep V plunging neckline that showed off my tatas. So I was hoping.
Tatas and almost the hoo-hoo. It was pretty low, lady. But you look gorgeous. You look gorgeous.
Well, that's what I said. I said I needed to pull the attention away from the foot. I needed people to stop and look right here. I didn't want their eyes to go any lower. So I said to my husband, I am not going to stand on my feet all day and cook a Thanksgiving meal and all of that. I just can't. And so he was nice enough to say, okay, honey, let's make reservations at the country club.
Oh, so you're going out to eat. Well, people don't know
Yes.
this, but you are an amazing cook. We had a Friendsgiving, and she made pasta, like handmade with the flour and everything. It was phenomenal. Like, you're a really, really good cook. I truly admire and respect that. So you're going to eat out. You're not going to cook at home.
Right. So we're going to the country club and having Thanksgiving dinner there with a couple of our kids and grandkids, and it's going to be very nice. And then we've been invited to some other friends' houses in the evening time for desserts. So I'm not going to have to do any work at all, which I'm extremely grateful for.
Well, as stressful as this week has been, it's nice you have a little downtime. The grandkids are coming over. When do they come over?
They're actually here right now, but they're also coming back tomorrow. So they'll be here all day tomorrow. So we're going to be having fun and riding motorcycles and having all kinds of fun. Speaking of my husband, he always, he never ceases to amaze me. He just sent me this amazing text on my phone that says, just sending you a note to say, I love you.
Oh, did he mean to send that to me? Was it an accident?
and then it's got Beyonce wiggling her booty at me,
That's my Lamar. There we go. I see it's a lot of sentiment and love, but something a little sexy. I love him.
There's got to be sex involved.
Yes.
If Lamar's in there, there's got to be sex.
Where do the kids? Where do you and the kids go ride motorcycles? Because do you do that out on your property? Because you've got a lot of land out there, or do you go out somewhere else to ride?
Both. We do it out in the land. We're on a couple acres, and so they go everywhere. But plus, we are all they can ride clear out here in the streets and the cul-de-sacs and all that kind of stuff. So it's just fun. So, but like I said, I spent many, many, many years before I ever met Lamar. I spent 16 years as a single mother of two. And I always told my children, the holiday is not necessarily when the holiday says it is on the calendar. It's when we're together, and so, when you're trying to split your children's lives with your ex and all that kind of stuff, sometimes they'd be like, oh, but Mom, we're not going to be with you on Thanksgiving. We're going to be with Dad. And I'm like, you know what? The holiday is just when we're together. It doesn't matter what it says on the calendar. So I spent a lot of time and a lot of different holidays by myself because we had to split time, with our kids. And so, like I said, Thanksgiving to me is not really always being with family. It can be with friends. It can be time alone, reflecting. To me, it just doesn't matter. I mean, like that's I've had many a Thanksgivings where I've just been alone, and that's been perfectly fine with me
I
because,
can't imagine you ever being alone. You're always surrounded by so many people because you're a very giving person. So I can't imagine you spending a holiday alone.
well, I say
That's
alone.
interesting to me.
I don't mean the whole day. I mean, like, there's even when I was single, people were inviting me to their houses,
Yeah.
or I was inviting people to my house. But what I'm trying to get at is, to me, Thanksgiving is just a time of reflection, and whether you get to be with family or not, you just need to take that particular holiday and use it as a time of reflection and really look back at what you really should be thankful for in life. And
Amen. Well said.
it's not always all of those Louboutins on the shelf.
It's a little bit that. It's a little bit that.
So I'm hoping with that said that hopefully you're like spending some time teaching your children, since they're so young, about
Louboutins?
well, we know you're teaching your daughter all about Louboutins and amazing purses and so on and so
Well, I
forth.
did get her something new that you started because I got Matt bought me for Christmas. I got it early, that new Birkin bag. She said to me that she was upset that I have one bigger than hers and it has a bracelet. So I got her the little mini charm for hers for Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
how cute is that? That's so cute.
And I noticed that you in California, you had a new bag too. I was ogling it. You had a black, it was an orange bag with a black, but it had the black hardware. Very
Yes, yes, isn't that hot? I had quite a few people wanting that bag from me.
I bet. So was a new one that you got, or have you had that one?
No, I've had that one. I've had that one. You just hadn't seen it.
I hadn't seen it. I got lost in the shuffle. I need to come over and take some inventory.
So I could get robbed again?
Yes. I actually joked the first time I went in the closet. I'm like, they're going to have another robbery here tonight. Guard the guard. And your security guard did not know I was joking. I thought he was going to tackle me. You guys don't know this, but when she has parties, she has a lot of security. And they come dressed like guests. And there was a very large man who looked like he was going to take me down. I'm like, I know, I promised. I'm a friend. It's okay. He's like, step away from the Perkins, sir. I'm like, damn.
Well, that's just it. I like to have my guards, my security people, look like guests, so that people are just not, because if you go to a party and there's security people dressed like security people, it kind of scares people. So with that said, guys, I'm hoping that I'm hoping you're all gonna have an amazing week and an amazing Thanksgiving, and hopefully this helps you all understand what Thanksgiving means to Michael and I. And I know that both Michael and I are extremely grateful for each other in our lives. And so with that said, have a happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you get out there and check me out in social media. I am everywhere. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to that also. We're growing that thing rapid and fast. So check me out, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, everywhere, Instagram. Think we're leaving anything out? I don't think so. So with that, Michael,
I don't think so.
have an amazing Thanksgiving and give everyone in your family kisses for me.
Mwah, you too, love. Happy Thanksgiving.
You've been listening to Conversations in the Closet. We will return again same time next week. Brought to you by NI30D Athletics.